Hello there, it's Ian from Ranking the Obscure here, welcoming you to another Ranking Band Albums. Today we're going to look at Thunder, one of my favourite bands. They were formed out of Terraplane, so if you haven't watched the Terraplane video, I'd recommend you watch that. They were formed back in 1989 with Danny Bowles and Luke Morley and Harry James from Terraplane, and they had Ben Matthews join them on guitars and keyboards and Mark Luckhurst on the bass. I first heard them when I saw Heart. They supported Heart on their Brigade tour, and when they came out on stage I recognised Danny and Luke straight away. I thought, these were in Terraplane, and I was hooked. I love Terraplane, so this was very easy to just continue with following these guys. They've been around since 1989. They broke up a couple of times but soon got back together, and they're one of these bands that have only had 7 members, only 2 people left, and they've had a steady lineup for donkey's years. So they've released 13 studio albums. Before I start, I don't dislike any of their albums. They're all great. It's been very hard actually ranking these because I love every album. And the way I've done it, I've had to go through the albums and see which albums have got more songs I really, really like. I love them all, but it took me a little time to do this one. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So coming in at number 13 on my list was the 2005 album The Magnificent Seventh, which was their 7th album. I've only put this at the bottom. I mean, I love the album, but it hasn't got a lot of strong songs like on the other albums, but it opens up with a track called I Love You More Than Rock and Roll. It's just a typical Thunder track, and then you get the Gods of Love, Monkey See, Monkey Do, I'm Dreaming Again. Now one of my favourites is Amy's On the Run. It's a typical Thunder riffs from Ben and Luke. It's a terrific track. It really does do the business. The next track, The Pride, is a heavy track, and it's a great track. Then we get Fade Into the Sun, Together Apart or Apart. One thing that is a ballad. One thing about Thunder, they make some fantastic slow ballads. They're just terrific. And then the last album. We got, hang on, no we haven't, sorry. You Can't Take a Good Man Down, another good rocker. Then they have a track called One Foot in the Grave. Now to me this is a very Legrand from ZZ Top sort of start. It's got that start like in Lagrange, and then there's One Fatal Kiss. Can't get me words out today. Really good album. Unfortunately it's number 13. Coming at number 12 is their 2008 album, the 9th, and it was the last one they made before their second breakup, called Bang. Really good album. As I said, these are really good albums. On the radio, great opening track. If you do like Thunder, you know what you're going to get. Them first chords of a song and you're straight into it. Stormwater, another great track. The 3rd track, Caroline, great drumming from Harry, brilliant drumming. Retribution, another good track. Candyman, Have Mercy is a bluesy acoustic song, and then it goes boom. It's one thing with the Thunder catalogue, they do this a lot. You start off with a nice quiet bit, you think, oh this is on, and all of a sudden it hits you with heavy guitars. Then you've got a track called Watching Over You, another good rocker. Miracle Man, another good rocker. Turn Left at California, best track on the album. It's got harmonica. It's got a bit of country feel, but done in the style of Thunder. Really good. And then you get Love Sucks, One Bullet and Honey. Great album. As I say, I listen to these albums all the time and I don't get bored of listening to any of them. Number 11 on my list is the 2019 album, 12th album, and it's called Please Remain Seated. Now, this is a compilation album and it's reworking songs, not all acoustic. They've just reworked a lot of their old songs. Highlights on this album are there's a great version of Low Life in High Places on this. Stand Up's a little is a bit of a boogie. River of Pain is got Spanish guitars, really good. Robert Johnson's Tombstone is actually done in the style of Robert Johnson. It's absolutely brilliant. It's just a really good album. I'm not very, when people will do these re-releases of other tracks, this is one of the better ones from any band. It's just really good. They're different versions of some of their songs. I mean, one or two of them, you could, quite jazzy, terrific album. Then we're getting to the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is the 8th studio album from 2006. Robert Johnson's Tombstone. Again, another great album. You just can't... It's very hard to rank these. They're just great albums. You got Rob Johnson's Tombstone again. It was a bit different from the one on the previous album I talked about. Dirty Dream. Great, classic sort of Thunder track. Don't Talk About Love. Danny's vocals, absolutely terrific. It's one of them tracks where he starts off just him singing and then it goes into the track. Brilliant track. Last Man Standing, another good track. My Darkest Hour. Andy Warhol Said, all good tracks. What a Beautiful Day. That is a terrific song, sorry, I've just lost my place. Yeah, it's great rocker. Next track on that album is All About You, another great song. And then your last track, Stubborn Kind of Love, good rocker again. This does what it says on the tin. Coming in at number 9 then is the 2003, the 6th album, Shooting at the Sun. This is the first album they made after their first breakup. Really good album. Loser, one of the best tracks on the album, and it's one of their best ever opening to an album. It's terrific. Everybody's Laughing, that good track. If I Can't Feel Love, another good track. Shooting at the Sun, bit different, bit funky, but still good. The Pimp and the Whore, really steady rocker. Just one of them. It's another good track. If you haven't listened to any of these tracks, go and have a listen, because you will not be disappointed. Next track on the album, A Lover Not a Friend, another great track. Next one, Shake the Tree, another great slow track from Thunder, brilliant. Then we got Someone Get Me a Spin Doctor, quite a funky foot tapping sort of tune. Then you get The Man Inside, Out of My Head, great keyboards from Ben on this. Some of his keyboard work is fantastic. A very underrated keyboard player is Ben Matthews. And then the last track on the album is Blown Away. Coming in at number 8 is their 11th album from 2017, Rip It Up. Another terrific album. First track, No One Gets Out Alive, and it's just another cracking opening to a Thunder album. Does everything that you need to start the album off. Title track, Rip It Up, it's a ripper. Great guitar work, great drumming, great singing. What more do you need? Best track on the album is the next one, She Likes the Cocaine. It's got a nice rhythm, very foot tapping rhythm. I can't praise this band enough. I just love them. Then we have right from the start, another good track, Shakedown, great. Heartbreak Hurricane. Now the next one, Another Life. That's a bluesy bass line. It's, if you think of Elena Miles' Black Velvet, it's in that sort of vein. Terrific. You just cannot beat this. It's, oh dear. Next track on this album, The Chosen One. Great track, The Enemy Inside. Again, another, they're just brilliant rockers. Tumbling Down, Thunder at their best. They're just absolutely stunning album. Number 10 on the track, on the album, or There's Always a Loser. Another great track. Okay, coming in at number 7 is Giving the Game Away from 1999, their 5th album. This is the first one with their present bassist, Chris Childs. It's, so they've had a steady lineup since 1999, which is terrific. In, you know, when you look at other bands that go through musicians a bit spinal tappy, but well, this is what I said. Thunder have had only 7 people through the band. It's always been bass players. So what's on this album? Just Another Suicide, You Want to Know, good track. Second track, All I Ever Wanted. It's very slow track, brilliant acoustic with delicate electric guitars from Luke Morley. Oh, it's very clever and a bit different. The title track, Giving the Game Away, it reminds me of listening to the Beatles round about the White Album, Sgt. Pepper's. Bit of a rip-off, but it's great. You Still Need a Friend, another great track. Rolling the Dice, it's another classic rocker from Thunder. Same with Numb, you just can't beat it. Now this is an interesting one, the next one. It's the Wild Cherry song, Play That Funky Music. Now when I first saw the picked up and go, ooh, but once again, Thunder carry it off. I've heard them play this live, it's really good. One thing that they do, if they do a cover, they do great covers. Next track, Till It Shines, another acoustic song, so good, so good. Tough at the Time to Get Tough, and great song. It's Another Day, another outstanding track. Great guitar work from Luke Morley. A very underrated guitar player. The whole band are very underrated. They're just a brilliant rock band. Then we get It Could Be Tonight, another corker. Wonderland, really good. Then you get The Only One, that's quite nice. Now the last track on the album, it's a thing called Dueling Harmonicas. It's a bit of fun. It's not what you expect, but it's a fun little ditty. I quite enjoy it. Bit of fun with the band. Okay then, coming in at number 6, it's the 10th album, and that was the first album since their second breakup, 2015's Wonder Days. This is a good album. Again, Wonder Days is a hard rocker. The Thing That I Want, The Rain, Black Water, great opening tracks, first 4 tracks. You're sold with the first 4 tracks. Now the 5th track, The Prophet, it starts off, it sounds like Heart's Barracuda, and then it comes in with the way it's sang, it's like Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. So you've got a combination of 2 great songs in one song. Perfect. Resurrection Day, another good rocker, steady rocker. Chasing Shadows, that's got some heavy guitar work. One of the heaviest tracks that Thunder have ever done. When the Music Played, nice little ballady, ditty, bit of everything in there. Serpentine, another bluesy track, a typical sort of Thunder, the way they do their blues. Love it. best album on the track on the album is the last one, I Love the Weekend. It's just pure rock and roll. It's a rock and roll number, just vamped up. You just can't beat it. Okay, my number 5 is the 4th album they released, 1996, Thrill of It All. This is an interesting album because Luke Morley had to play the bass on this one. They'd sacked Mark Luckhurst. He actually threw a birthday cake at Ross Haflin, the photographer. You just don't do that to that man. They had got another bassist in, but his girlfriend was just about to give birth, so Luke Morley played lead guitars and bass on this album. Really good album this is. One of their finest. First track on the album, Pilot of My Dreams, Storming. From start to finish. It's hit play and it's 100 miles an hour all the way through. Brilliant. Living for Today, another bluesy acoustic. You just can't beat their bluesy numbers. Love Worth Dying For, another good track. Don't Wake Up, bit funky, nice funky guitar work from Luke Morley. Something About You, another good track. Next track is Welcome to the Party. Bit cheesy, but seen them do this live, open up the show with it. It does what you want. The title track, Thrill of It All, it's an acoustic with some great keyboards again. Hotter Than the Sun, another corker. The Forgotten Town, another good rocker. Cosmic Punk, real fast, upbeat rocker. For some reason today my mouse is playing up. There we go. So it keeps going back to the top of the list. Right, where are we? Number 11 on the album, You Can't Live Your Day in a Life in a Day. It's one of them tracks that you could imagine being played in a speakeasy bar back in America in the day. I've actually got the extended version here and it's got other bits on it. Don't Wait Up, extended version of it. Then you've got her Suit Boogie. It is what it is, a boogie. Then not some very interesting tracks. The actual bonus tracks in are not very good. You got some acoustic stuff of the other songs. Lethal Combination's a good song though. That is really good. Then they do a cover of Sam Cooke's Bring It On Home acoustic version. It's all right. So now we're going to get into my favourite albums. The ones that I love to bits. This was hard putting them in this, ranking these last 4. So the number 4 in my list is their 3rd album from 1995, Behind Closed Doors. And it's the one and only album to feature Mikael Höglund, a Swedish guitarist. The tracks on here, I think every single one, top to bottom, are really good. Opens up with Moth to the Flame. That guitar riff at the beginning, terrific. It's heavy. Then we get Fly on the Wall, which is a really funky version of a song. I do like it. I'll Be Waiting, so bluesy, terrific. Next track on the album, River of Pain. Oh dear, I'm having a bad day with my teeth today. Just a brilliant track. It's in I'd say my top 3 of all-time favourite Thunder songs. Love It Live, it's just great. Then get Future Train, good track again. Till the River Runs Dry, another one. Then you get the brilliant Stand Up. Another great song. that's probably in my top 10 Thunder songs. Preaching from the Chair, another good track. Castles in the Sand, an acoustic song, very good. Then you get another funky song. They do like doing their funky songs. With the funky jazzy guitar, Too Scared to Live. Then we get Ball and Chain, that's a great track. Then you get one of these tracks again, It Happened in This Town. That slow start and then boom with the heavy guitars. Okay, moving into the top 3. Coming in at number 3 is their second album. And it was No Laughing on Judgement Day. Saw them twice on this tour. Saw them at Donington. And then I saw them, I think, in Aston Villa Leisure Centre or something. And it was the last to feature Mark Lockhurst, who got sacked for throwing that cake. Great tracks on this album. Play it to death, even today. Don't get tired of this one. Opens up with Does It Feel Like Love? Classic Thunder acoustic. Then it comes in with them rocket guitars. Everyone wants a great song, great live. Everyone sings to that. My favourite track on the album then comes out, No Life in High Places. I adore that track. Then you get title track, Laughing on Judgement Day, another good rocker. An Empty City. This is a track, a deep cut track. It's got everything that you expect from Thunder. Got a little bit of slow, heavy, rock, terrific. Then you get the next song, Today the World Stopped Turning. It's acoustic and an electric piano. Ben Matthews doing terrific work on that one again. Then next track, Long Way Home. I love this track. It's got awesome Hammond organ from Ben. It reminds me, if you close your eyes or whatever, it's in the vein of a John Lord sort of track, you know. Then we get Fire to Ice, another great rocker. They keep coming on this album. Feed in the Flame. And then we get one of my favourite slow tracks, A Better Man. This is probably their best, one of their best slow. I'd say it's probably their best. Then we get The Moment of Truth. Then we got the Flawed to Perfection, another great track live. Then number 13, Like a Satellite, love that track. And then the last track on the album, Baby, I'll Be Gone. Right, my top 2. My top number 1 has always been my number 1. Up until this year, my number 2 was No Laughing on Judgement Day. But then earlier this year, they released their 13th album, All the Right Noises. I love this album already. I've played it to death. But this is their best album since Thrill of It All. Although the ones in between are great, this is terrific. This could be my number 1 one day. If you haven't got this one, go and get it. Let's have a look at the tracks, because it's just an incredible album. First track, Last One, Turn Off the Lights. It's storming. That's the first thing I heard from this album. And you go, wow, if that's the first track they've released, what's the rest of the album going to be like? And I wasn't disappointed at all. Danny's vocals on this, you know, considering he's getting on a bit, bless him, he's one of them singers that his vocals hasn't changed one bit from the first album to this album. His voice is just, I don't know what he does, but when you get other singers, you know, unfortunately as they get older their voice starts to go a bit. Danny's hasn't. It's just tremendous. Second track, dirty guitar and great vocals again, Destruction, terrific song. The Smoking Gun, another acoustic masterpiece. It's, again, one of their best already. Number 4 on this album is Going to Sin City. Great riffs, drums, it's got horns on it, brilliant. Next track, Don't Forget to Live Before You Die. The bass on this, Chris Charles' bass on it is incredible. Really heavy and deep. Then you get a great ballad. The next one, I'll Be the One. It's just another stonking ballad. Young Man. That is heavy. A really heavy track. You're Gonna Be My Girl. Great rocker. St George's Day. Another slow rocker. Brilliant. Force of Nature. More of that acoustic boogie and then heavy guitar. She a Millionaires. That's going to be a classic, and I think when they do that live it'll be a stable part of their set. In all, it's a brilliant album, and for me to put it at number 2 and it only came out earlier this year, that tells you how much of a great album it is. So let's get on to my number 1. This album's always been my number 1 from the first minute I heard it. It's Backstreet Symphony. Their debut album came out in 1990. Well, what can you say? From the first track on the album, from them opening chords of She's So Fine, it just continues going straight through. Great track. Next track, Dirty Love. I love it live. Just make a bit of a story of it. Fan favourite. Next track, Don't Wait For Me. One of my favourite tracks on the album. Great keyboards from Ben. Then you get Higher Ground with that great bass line. Until My Dying Day. Another brilliant track. Now this next track was the first thing I ever heard by Thunder when they came on stage at Backstreet Symphony. Blew me away. Totally blew me away. The song, I just love this song. Next one, Love Walked In. Another classic song from the band. Firm favourite when they play it live. Then you get An Englishman on Holiday. Nice little fun track, all about drunk hooligans on holiday. Then you get a great track, Girls Going Out of Her Head. Great rocker. Terrific song. Love that song live. Then they do a cover version of Gimme Some Lovin' from the Spencer Davis Group. Another great track. And the album runs out on Distant Thunder. One of my favourite tracks by the band. So there we are. That's Thunder. So, one more thing. If you like what you see, what you heard, don't forget, subscribe. And look out for more. Don't know what I'm doing next. I've got 1 or 2 I'm working on, so which one I'll get done first. So you all have a good time. I'll speak to you all soon and have fun. Bye for now.